Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday night chat, Sunday night roundtable. I got Mossy Nut and Blue 823 here. A few other invites are sent out there. I don't know if they're going to join or not, but if they do, so be it. If not, here we are. And we will handle our business and have a good chat. So with that, I'm going to let these two guys do an intro, and I'm going to start with Mossy Nut, the man of the 6-hour chat.
Yeah, I don't want to do that again. That was brutal. I don't have much anything going on. Just everybody go check out the Crazy Scotsman and his raffle for C-Max. That's about it.
Blue, would you like to do an intro, man?
Really got nothing going on channel wise, putting out a couple videos here and there, actually more than I think I have all summer, but a couple more to put out there in Quince. But other than that, thanks for the invite. Good to see the chat rooms filling up. It's went from like 6 to 30 in the last 2 minutes. So I think people wait to see that live button and then they just start popping in. So ready to get this one started. I know we got a lot of actually good topics to handle. We usually don't do topics, but there's a lot happening. So ready to roll.
Okay. All right. Forgive me if I'm a little bit trying to share this on Facebook and some other places, but yes, we have a few subjects to talk about. And it's hard to type and talk at the same time.
Hey, well, you're typing. Popped in. So Daniel, why don't you do an intro?
Oh, hello everybody. Daniel, God is my judge. I decided to check my mail just in case when TR said that. And wait, two chats in a row, TR? I'm somebody now.
No, you're welcome, man. I mean, I enjoy your counter to us. You know, I mean, we need balance in these chats, and I'm a low-life redneck, and I need some balance in my life. So I bring other people on here. Anyway, other guys, just somebody to talk.
Yeah. Me, I eat fiber. Raisin Bran. But thank you.
To have you on here, man. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate your time because trust me, as somebody that's done these chats for a long time, when you have a guest on the show, on any show, and on any chat, your time is valuable to you and your family. And when you can take time out to come on, I trust me, I appreciate it, and I thank you. That's the same for Blue, Rick, Mossy, everybody. If you can, you know, spend a few minutes of your time to be here, I really, really do appreciate it. So thanks.
Now, no problem. Everybody's tucked into bed, and I'll be quiet so Mossy can talk.
Well, speaking for myself, TR, you know, I appreciate it when you send the link out, you know, so because hell, these chats are always pretty damn fun. So
oh, excuse me, I got a sneak peek. You may or may not have seen it because I know he only has a couple people sub to him, but my buddy Tool Monkey has a new press coming in, and we've already set up. I hate to even say it, but we're going to try our best to make a funny video. But anyway, it's in the making. He's going from single stage to progressive, and we got the a little bit of a plan going on, and hopefully it turns out. I know we'll probably look goofy as hell, which will actually make it even more funny because we'll be so fucking goofy trying to be funny. But anyway, that's my upcoming video is me breaking my buddy free from a single stage press.
Is that going to be on? So because he don't do too many videos, does he?
Nah, Tool Monkey. That's who it is.
Yes. Is he? So he's going to put a video out on his channel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, probably both of our channels, but I told him, I said, we'll both set up a camera, both pretty much shoot the same video, but it'd be a little bit different angle. And because he was like, well, don't even worry about mine. Just do yours. You got more viewers than me. And I'm like, nah, we'll both put up the video, throw it out there. Because let's see, where's it at? My buddy went blue.
Nice.
He's waiting for it to come in.
I can't wait till I get to place that order. Man.
Yeah, you'll like it. That's what I've been telling him. Trust me, you'll love it. I mean, and he's like me. I convinced him to get the 550. I know Rick and Rob and fucking SoCal. They all SoCal. Shit, I can get fucking invite him. All right, y'all talk amongst yourselves. Let me go invite SoCal.
He's out there as a mod. How did he do that?
I gave him a damn ticket.
Oh. What's up, Curious?
Boy, TR stops talking. This whole thing kind of goes to crap. Everybody's just kind of waiting for him to lead us on somewhere.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you there, Blue. Do you always scream like a little girl?
Only whenever amusement rides are in play. I've never ever been a fan of anything like that, and oh my god, that one that kept going up and up and up and up and then just like dropped out. I kept saying don't drop the camera because I was scared. I was like I had to say something the entire time instead of going oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So I was like don't drop the camera, don't drop the camera. And that whole drop lasts, I don't know, 3 seconds, but it feels like 10 seconds of sheer, I'm coming out of the seat. I mean, it even goes back to the one time I went to, what is it, Universal in Orlando. They had a Jurassic Park ride. And walking around the park, you see the big cart coming down the river ride, which is the Jurassic Park thing. You see it drop down, it hits the water and splashes everywhere. Well, I don't know why, but I completely forgot about that. Going through this nice little lazy river, and there's some dinosaurs popping out and everything. And right as you're going down, this big T-Rex comes out from over top of you, and it's like, roar, and it causes you to look up. And I'm like looking up and laughing and ha ha ha. Well, then all of a sudden the floor is gone and it's straight down. And whenever I realized it going straight down, that's whenever they snap the pictures to sell you at a later time. I am like wrapped around the cushion thing that goes in front of you. I got my one arm up under it, my other arm up over this way, and my face is like, oh my god, that stuff. I just we're all ready for a civil war or a shootout, but by God, you get me on an amusement park ride, you might as well forget it.
Oh, the worst one I've ever been on is the Top Thrill Dragster up at Cedar Point.
Okay.
It shoots you out like you're taking a cat shot off an aircraft carrier, and then you're going straight up for, I don't know, 180 feet. I'm probably wrong on that, but it seems like 1,000. And if you don't make it to the top to make the curve, you end up going backwards to the beginning. And that I was too scared to scream. It was like you see people, teenagers that have peed themselves when they get off of that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cedar Point's only a hop, skip, and a jump from where I'm at.
Oh, really? Because it's only like 40 minutes from me.
Yeah, it's about, well, maybe about an hour and 20.
Okay, so we're not too far apart.
Now I'm pretty much between Pittsburgh and Erie.
Well,
Okay, I'm back. Blue has a excellent news story to bring up, and we can discuss a little bit. And I won't give you the floor, Blue. Go right ahead.
I'm going to read this. It's a pretty short article, but it came across my feed today. So let me close that part. All right. The headline is Civil Disobedience. March from Charlottesville to D.C. will demand Trump's removal. And this is from Fox News. It says protesters are planning a march starting from Charlottesville, Virginia to Washington, D.C. to fight white supremacy and demand that President Trump be removed from office. The march to confront white supremacy will spend 10 days starting on Monday, August 28th, traveling to the nation's capital and then occupy it with nonviolent demonstrations. For years, white supremacist violence, rhetoric, and policies have escalated and intensified, exploding during Donald Trump's run for presidency and reaching a boiling point in Charlottesville. White nationalist rallies in Charlottesville, Virginia turned violent earlier this month, leaving one counter-protester dead. It says President Trump was heavily criticized in his response, which many views as not going far enough against the white supremacists. So basically, that's all the news story states. But so basically, now we're going to have to put up with these assholes traveling from Charlottesville to D.C. starting tomorrow. And they say it's going to take 10 days for them to make that trek. And that once they hit Washington, they're going to occupy it until Trump is removed.
And every day on that march, it's going to get violenter and more violent each stop. I feel real. I mean, you reading that, I am just like, my blood is boiling.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother is Cherokee. Her parents had her and her sisters marry white guys, so they didn't have to go on the Trail of Tears way back in the day. Well, I've got it. No, my grandma was, 50% because it was her mom that didn't have to go on the Trail of Tears. Now, they chose to change their circumstance so they wouldn't have to go on a Trail of Tears. But then they lived in Kentucky in a tar paper shack with no jobs and stuff. And then they got down Olive Hill. They all got on the bus, came up north, and got jobs. Now all their kids graduated high school. A couple of them went to college. Now their grandkids are all, high school graduates, and half of them now into college. It's changed your circumstance. I wasn't there for the Trail of Tears. I wasn't alive when the land got taken away or the diseased blankets were spread out. But it was the parents, my ancestors' decisions on changing their circumstances that have me where I am now. And that's an American.
Exactly. No, and I couldn't have said that any better, because even before we went live and before you jumped in, we had actually, myself, TR, and Mossy, basically echoed almost exactly what you said, not as delicately, of course, but, it's stuff that we've done in the past. I mean, starting with, whenever the Europeans came to the U.S., it happened. It sucks that it happened. And now looking back, everybody's like, man, that's really super bad. And, the Civil War happened, and that's what most of these protests are over. Well, I don't want to say they're over the Civil War, but because of what people's feelings are on why the Civil War happened. And yet these idiots are the same ones that are protesting the first Civil War that seem to want to have another one so fast that it's unbelievable.
And these idiots that are doing this marching are living in their mom and dad's homes, pampered life. I've taken teenagers on the mission trips to the inner city of Philadelphia, twice there, and also out in the hills in the Smoky Mountains and all that, where there's no jobs. And it's the same problems. I mean, the people that are suffering, the reason that they're suffering is because you got a Democrat system that's keeping them slaves to welfare, just for a good big voting block. I've talked to these gangbangers in the dark alley, showing them deer pictures, talk about God, stuff like that, and telling them, hey, graduate, get out of here. This is how my family did it. And I'm talking to their moms when I'm out sneaking around the corner to have a cigarette out away from the mission at night, and just tell them, I'm just as screwed up as you are. You got to change it. Get them out of there. And you see these little rich, spoiled brats getting backed with the money from like Soros and all that they need to enact. I mean, they got a RICO laws, don't they? If they're breaking laws, the people supplying the money for them to break laws, shouldn't we go after them?
Yeah, if you can follow the paper trail back, which I'm sure if somebody actually took the time to look, they should definitely be able to go back and say, look, this is where all this funding came from. Because look, I mean, just like you're saying, look at all the different protests that we've had across the country. How many of the people that are protesting are actually from the city where the protest is happening? They're bussed in from hundreds of miles away.
True. Period. LTR's being quiet over there. Unless we send out some more invites.
Yeah, it's still typing. I thought that he'd be the first one to key up on this one and just go.
Well, I won't let y'all voice your opinion. Yeah, there's the hypocrisy is just gotten to the stupid level of it's just I mean, the ignorancy and stupidity has hit a level that I freaking deal with, you know? Yeah, okay, I got the flag over there, whatever. But the hypocrisy of that is just is crazy. The video I put out today, I know everybody hasn't seen it, and I'm not promoting my channel. I don't care if you go back and look at it or not, but I make an apology on that video, and because I was wrong on some facts, not all of them, but some. But the fact that this flag got brought up as being a problem between racial relations in America, the church in Charleston, Emmanuel Church, where that little fucking dickhead, that little white supremacist little shit that I denounce, you know, I mean, by all means, he went into that church and he killed 9 members of that church. The graveyard for that church, for the Emmanuel Church in Charleston, there is a black Confederate soldier buried in that fucking graveyard. So everybody's facts are all fucked up, all twisted around, and the truth is hard to find. But I'm just letting you know, the whole thing that started this whole debacle over the Confederate battle flag, there is actually a black Confederate soldier buried in the very church's graveyard that this shit started. Okay? So run with that. How about that? How about that, people?
And I don't think that there's anybody out there that would even argue the fact that this was one person. You know, one person who had a hatred toward a race and did this. I mean, we see that all. I don't want to say we see it all the time, but it's never. And here again, I'm not siding with white supremacists, neo-Nazis, anything like that. When is the last time that a group setting like that turned violent? Unless the non-supporters show up and then there's a clash. You know, I mean, that's how it all starts. You never see. I'm not saying it didn't happen in the past. I mean, God, there was lynch mobs. There was all that stuff that happened. That is in our past. It sucks that it happened, like which we keep saying. But these KKK groups, all these other things, can anybody tell me the last time that there was an actual, I wouldn't even say large scale, I mean just an absolute onslaught of racial attacks against a group until the last, what, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Because it's getting fueled.
Yeah, it's not, you know, the fact that the media is fueling the fire, that there's so much racial America, is such a freaking lie that it is. I mean, it's so blatant that it is a lie. For those that don't know, I mean, my ex-wife is black. I had a black son-in-law, a black Mexican daughter-in-law. And talking to my wife, she was from New Jersey. She was like, the South is way, way more tolerant to interracial relationships and people. It's way more intolerant up north. I don't know. I haven't been there. I'm just taking her word for it. But she moved from New Jersey to the South, and like I said, I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it. You know, me, I go to the store. There's black people, Mexican, Hispanic, Chinese, Asian, whatever race you can think of. Just spit out a fucking race. They're probably in that store. And I go in there and we all get along. We all are okay with each other. Hold the door open for each other. There's no tension. There's no problem. I don't see the problem. The media thinks we're all, they want to portray that we're all at each other's fucking throat, almost about to kill each other. That's not the way it is. Mm-hmm. And people need to wake up, quit believing a damn lie, and see reality for what it is.
TR, yes, people need to wake up, start connecting the dots. The last presidential administration in your Congress and Senate, they went and repealed a law banning propaganda on the United States citizens. Why would they do that unless they intended to use it? Google the Encyclopedia Britannica when it first came out. It was like the 60s or so. The introduction to the Encyclopedia Britannica talked about the propaganda. Who put out the most would it win the minds of America, and that's one of the most dangerous things that can be done to our country. And the only thing that we can do to prevent it, so we can make intelligent decisions, is education. I mean, even just high school education. That's why they came out with the encyclopedia. But that's in the introduction. Propaganda, how to fight it, and how to learn to be a critical thinker to make decisions on your own. And that was written by an atheist. And when he got done with the Encyclopedia Britannica, hey, he converted. He became a Christian. Critical thinking. Had to get that in there since you invited me. That's my sermon for the night.
That's fine. Yeah. Absolutely. You know,
it's all about being able for a person to think for themselves and not just parrot what the media is putting out.
But like you said, it's also now it's beginning with on the grade school level, high school level, and big time in the college level, to where it's being shoved down the throats. I mean, I live in Hicktown, USA. I mean, we are small, rural. We have a couple, cities. Whenever I say cities, our cities, we're lucky if they have, 5,500 to 8,000 people in them. I can't tell you how many kids that go into high school just because they don't want to, and they don't have. And I think this is another huge issue that we're dealing with is family structure, that they bail out of high school. They do the online, what's that? It's not an online GED. It's like, basically they're doing online schooling so they don't have to deal with people. They don't have to interact with people. And then you get into college, and a lot of the colleges that we're seeing, and I mean like the big league colleges, their professors are shoving information down the throats that they want the kids to believe. And it's like nobody knows how to think for themselves anymore. Instead of taking all the information and coming up with your own decision, it's, okay, this person says this and 3 of my best friends agree with it, so now that's the way I'm going to think, and let's go raise some hell. And I don't understand that process. That's in there. Rich put it up there. Homeschooling. I don't agree with homeschooling. I don't, unless if a parent is homeschooling their child, that's fine. This homeschooling over the internet, where you have an unknown teacher teaching your child, if they decide to take those classes, I don't agree with that stuff.
I work with a whole lot of folks that are homeschooled, and most of them during one point end up going to a public school in high school or doing their college prep. And the ones that are taught by their parents with a good regimen, they go over to the regular school. They end up being salutarians or valedictorians of the school.
Mhm.
They just go in there and just blow the whole rating curve out of the water. But what you said earlier with them being indoctrinated in elementary, take it another step down. It's even in preschool now. Here in Ohio, they have this thing that's called a star rating. They get federal money if the teachers have to go and to attend these classes. And it's very liberal classes. And if the preschool doesn't stick with it a year or two later, the preschool is now on the hook to pay up all the money from day one back to the federal government.
Yeah. See, and that's why we pay school tax for a reason. Stop taking the damn federal money. And and that's what I think that comes down to it a lot across the board for everything. And I know that we've talked about this before. Get the federal crap out. I pay school taxes, county taxes, local taxes, and federal taxes. My federal taxes should have nothing to do with the local schools. That's what I'm paying that big ass chunk of money for every year, is for my kids' education. I don't want the federal, like this crap with, and I don't want to go off on a different tangent, but the gender neutral bathrooms, something like that. You know, I don't agree with that whatsoever. If you want to have a boys' bathroom, a girls' bathroom, and a gender neutral bathroom, by all means. But this crap to where they want to make it, you can go to one bathroom one day, the next bathroom the next day. That's not good for what I would say is my child, because my child is not I don't even know the right, they don't need exposed to it. You know what I mean? Why are we exposing little kids to this? Because the feds say so.
It's because they want them desensitized. I mean, it started, like movies and stuff we considered risque when we were kids. It wasn't allowed to be on TV till after 9 o'clock when we were in bed. And it would be if someone cussed, all right, or showed the back of a woman. That's it. Now, it's like, hey, I'm not hating on the gays, okay? But if it's not on the TV show where they have, the gay relationship, it's on the commercials now too. It's just indoctrinating to desensitize the youth to think this is just normal. And it actually, in all things, it's like less than 1% of the population of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I'm going to be clear. I'm an adult. I don't care if you're gay, straight, black, white, purple, pink. I don't care. But stop shoving this down my 10-year-old's throat, my 8-year-old's throat, and my 7-year-old's throat. Once they get into, I would even go as far as say maybe 16, 17, 18. I'm not saying that I'm still willing for a public school to open my child up to that. However, I think at that point in time, their brain's more developed and they have a better thought pattern about things to where they can start comprehending what they want to believe is right, what they want to believe is wrong. And it's not up to the
what they need to be taught at that point is, hey, okay, they're doing this. Don't, as far as everything that you can do, that you have the ability to do, don't be a jerk towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Just there's somebody. You got your own issues in your own life. They've got their issues. Just be the best person that you can be, and that's it. I mean, just don't be a hater. That's it.
Right.
But yeah, it's I want to go on my bandstand. It's the Communist Manifesto relabeled Agenda 21. I mean, the first step to get to your biggest voting block to control power is to create more poor people and centralize the poor people. That's how you can get the biggest number of votes and numbers. Number two is control the media. We see that now. And the third one, it's a long game, but it's even the most beneficial, is to take over the school systems. And after that, you go into the next steps to start controlling all the money that's coming in, all your manufacturing, and then after that, it's into the farming. With the health Obamacare, they got 1/6 of the United States gross domestic product in one fell swoop. 1/6 right there. So It's just connected dots. You see where it's going. We're almost at the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing the playbook, and you know, I try not to get too deep into the tinfoil hat shit. Put my tinfoil hat back on. There we go. Let me get it on. Be official. There's plays being done. Get down. There you go. There's plays being done, whether you realize it or not. The system is fucking playing you like a deck of cards. I mean, they are playing you. They know who you are. They know what you're going to do. All this BS that we're seeing on the media, the people in the background, they're almost laughing at us, laughing at what's going on, because they're like, yeah, we can do this, we can do that. And these people will do this and this and this. They'll do A, B, C. If we do this, they'll do X, Y, Z. They know it, and they're doing it. And the freaking people are falling for it. They're falling for it like sheep led to a fucking slaughter. So, excuse my cussing. But anyway. But it's true. It's true. They know what buttons to push, what they have to do, and the people will follow like sheep to a slaughter. And we're seeing it. And you know, people like me and you, we're trying to call it out and say, look, hold up. Think about this. Look at it. And you know, we're the ones that's called out as being freaking the crazy people or whoever, you know. Oh, that's the guy with a tinfoil hat on, you know. That's why I put it on, just play along. But anyway, you know, I mean, I see it. Like I said, there was a protest in Greenville. If any of you seen my videos, if you hadn't, don't worry about it. I don't give a shit if you go back and watch it or not. There was a protest going on in Greenville about some Confederate memorial, and they wanted me to show up. The news covered it. I don't know if it went national or not. I doubt it did, because there's only like 50 protesters. But you know, they wanted me to show up. They wanted a conflict to happen, and I knew better. I knew, okay, I'm not going to show up, because if one of these guys come up in my face, I might have to shoot some bitch. So the best thing for me to do is not show up. I got it. I understood it. You know, and I was like, I'll talk about it, but I'm not going there because I don't want a conflict. And every time they promote one of these protests, they're wanting a confrontation so they can cover it. And I'm saying, I know it seems to be a violation of our First Amendment right, but maybe there are some times that we should just back off and say, no, I'm not going to show up for that. You know, I get what's going on, and I should be there, but at the same time, they're wanting me to react to these people. And the best thing for me to do is just not even freaking go. I'm just not even going to go.
That's our problem.
What's up, Rich?
What's happening?
And I give the floor over to you guys. What do y'all think?
You got too much common sense.
Yeah, I think you're 100% correct, TR, because that's what they're hoping, is that they're going to get some people there that will react and just kick stuff off.
Well, when is it going to be time for, and I hate to interject government. I mean, everybody here knows I'm in law enforcement, but however, with that said, when is it going to be time for the government, and I mean local, federal, I don't give a crap which, to actually interject in this and say enough is enough. You guys have caused enough mayhem, enough destruction. And if you try to rip down a statue, at the least, you're going to get arrested and you're going to be, you know, and I mean persecuted fully. I mean, it's start throwing the books at these assholes and to stop the people that want to go, and not to start, I'm not saying to start a civil war, but the people that, the counter protesters, like this march that's going from Virginia to DC. When is it going to be time for somebody to step in the government and say, look, guys, enough. This march has been going on for 3 days. There's been looting. There's been rioting. There's been violence. We're shutting it down. And if you don't shut it down, we're arresting you and taking you off the streets. They need to do that. In my opinion, the government needs to step up and do that so that the other people, the anti-protesters that are against this, don't show up and start the bloodshed. I mean, I don't want to say bloodshed. I hope it doesn't happen, but we're at a tipping point.
The only way we could stop that is by taking the playbook straight from the Reverend Martin Luther King. And we're just leave our guns at home, and we're going to have to sacrifice some people as far as them getting hit over the head with locks or whatever, until you can get the majority of the American public to start screaming at their officials to stop this nonsense.
I just think I don't know. I just think we're already at that point. We've seen it start, and I don't want to say starting at Ferguson because it started a little bit before that, but Ferguson was the biggest covered, I would say, in recent times, and then it just keeps escalating. And whenever you have government officials such as mayors, governors, and everybody else saying, look, just you know, as long as they stay over on that side of the town, let them destroy the stuff, we'll rebuild it later. No, you as the government step in and stop the shit right now. And if it takes lethal force to stop it, if lethal force is being put out against others, or property destruction, or one of those forcible felonies, I hate saying you got to break a couple legs to make an omelet, but damn.
Well, the problem is the media is so much on the left side that they don't want to portray the Antifa and Black Lives Matter. We'll say it here. I'll say it here on my chat. Black Lives Matter and Antifa are the fucking terrorists. The media and the government does not want to call them out for what they are. I think they're promoting them, to be honest, because everything I see, they're promoting Antifa and Black Lives Matter
as the good guys.
As the good guys, yeah. I've if you follow me on Facebook, I've posted many videos of black men and women that call out the Black Lives Matter as being a terrorist group. They are. They flat out are. I mean, they have called out for the fucking death of cops, period. Pigs in a blanket, you know, death to fucking cops. I mean, are you kidding me? They're promoting this. The media promotes this group calling for the death of freaking cops. Are you fucking kidding me? And we're supposed to go along with this? No. Fuck you. I'm not following it. I'm not fucking buying it. I mean, it's not just because Blue's a policeman and he's on the panel. They fucking done that. They actually killed cops. Dallas. How many cops died? 5?
Mm-hmm. Dallas 5.
5. There you go. Black Lives Matter killed 5 fucking cops. The fucking media praised them. Obama fucking invited them to the fucking White House and praised them. Like, oh, you guys are okay. Yeah, I see your struggle. No, fuck you. You're a bunch of cop killers. Fuck you. You're a terrorist group. Fuck you. And I should end it there.
No, but you're right. I mean, it goes on with that, and with, you know, those people being invited to the White House and setting that precedence that it's okay to do that. And the president, whenever the 5 in Dallas were shot, plus however many nationwide were shot and they were ambush attacks. I mean, that's all it was. It was a cowardice ambush attacks right after another. I mean, I don't put my personal Facebook out there. TR's on there. I think Rick's on there. If you want to, I wish actually you can see, if you know who I am, you can go to my profile, go through my profile pictures for like the last year and a half. It's the saddest goddamn thing you ever see. There's probably, I don't know, 300 dead cops on my profile. And that's every time the cop's shot, that goes up on my profile. And it's it's weird for me being an officer saying that, you know, I don't like a lot of the laws that are put into effect, but on this, I think that there's got to be a stand taken soon, or else we're gonna lose. I mean, not us. I mean, but the nation as a whole is gonna lose before it gets any better. Chirp, 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 chirp.
Chirp,
What
chirp,
TR
chirp.
said.
Okay,
What
what
TR
about the
said.
fireman? Let the fireman talk. He hadn't talked yet. Go ahead, Rick.
You're such an ass. I was gonna say what TR said, but no, I don't know. I'm changing my mind just to be an asshole. No, it makes sense. I mean, you have any type of organization that tries to break apart something that's basically set up for you to protect you and your family. You know, it's like, good God. I'm a little flustered right now because I'm just like, after Blue was talking about 300 and something, I was like, police officers. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's been a ton. I mean, those aren't all, you know, shot and killed. Sometimes it's vehicle accidents or medical emergencies, that type of deal. But it's freaking ridiculous.
No, and there was a time there where all of us basically, you know, public safety in general, didn't matter what you were in. If you had a vehicle that went code 3 down the street, you were kind of on the hit list as well there for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard it as much lately.
Well, let me put it in perspective. They've been giving Trump shit over, he didn't respond quick enough. He didn't respond in the right way over Charlottesville of that one lady that got killed, which is a tragedy. I mean, anytime anybody's killed, that's a tragedy. Not so insensitive that we don't think that, okay? But people were just raising fucking hell that Trump didn't respond fast enough. He didn't respond in the correct way. But after those 5 cops got killed, Obama never made a statement about that killer killing those cops.
Yeah,
he didn't ever.
Tragedy. It was not a tragedy. It was nothing. It was just in his organization, it happened. You know, it happened. That's like whenever, and that's, I think that actually, I don't know if that's still on my Facebook or not. The first year that the police officers Memorial Week kicked off was the first time the White House has been lit up blue out of respect for law enforcement. I don't think Obama ever did it. And I'm relatively sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty damn sure that I actually Googled, did Obama ever light up the White House blue for national police officers? And no results came up. It never happened until Trump came back into office. And you know, this is the other thing.
And that's 8 years of multiple things like that, Blue. It's amazing. There's been more bad people that have shown up to the White House that he's, oh, poor you and all this bullshit. The Tennessee for the at the recruitment center for that shooting, you know, I mean, there's just a ton of different examples you can use where Obama, in my opinion, screwed up. When it comes to just on that fact of, you know, going to the correct family, it's.
Uh-oh, did we all freeze, or is it just Rick?
I think it's just Rick.
What?
That's just Rick. This time.
Can you hear
There
me?
you
I
go.
have no crickets. What are you talking about?
No, you froze up as soon as you said that's like this is where it went wrong, and like you were looking down and you kind of stayed there for a while.
Oh, your freaking internet sucks.
I've been playing around, VR trolling you guys about the CZs and stuff, but just the news and everything that's coming out today, I would rather have 18 in a clip and one in the pipe. And my wife went out and shot it, seen how well it was, and then she turned around and we headed straight to the outfitter that day, and she got herself a CZ because now she can carry 12 in the clip in the mag.
Nice.
And that's
What is
just
CZ?
because, well, that's just because of, how dysfunctional the world is right now. Instead of having 8 rounds, she's got, 12.
Yeah, right now is a good time to consider running something with a double stack because you might need extra. I mean, you're driving down the road gets blocked off. 6 rounds ain't gonna. Hopefully, it does. Everybody starts running away, but you never know.
Yeah, if you get in one of those situations, I mean, you don't stop shooting until a threat is down. And we talked a little bit about it before. It's like, okay, if you're, fortunately, we don't go to the city anymore. The largest town is 16,000 up the road from us. And no one's going to protest there because they wouldn't live to get out. But if we got in Cleveland or something like that, one of these things broke out, we're going to go to the museum. It's going to be some poor fool that's in the wrong place at the wrong time that ends up knocking down 5 or 6 of these people with a gun. And that's going to be the government's excuse, and media is just going to really start painting them as white supremacists, bringing their kids to kill Antifa or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was last year or a year and a half ago. I traveled to California, and it was right when the police officer had killed somebody, and they were rioting, not so much rioting the streets, but they were gathering in groups in the streets, and I'm like, man, that's right down the street from the airport. And it's like you go from feeling comfortable to carrying whatever you want to having as much stuff with you as you want to having nothing. We kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday of not having anything here, and man, what an uncomfortable feeling.
But especially now, look how many innocent people have been beat up. The last one was because the guy was wearing a polo shirt and he had a haircut that resembled a neo-Nazi or something. Did you guys see that? It was a younger fella, not younger. He's probably 30-ish, but he was in a button-up polo shirt, and his side of his head was shaved, and he kind of had like his hair like kind of swooped off. I call it a swoop, but like a comb over or something on the top. And he got beat up just because he resembled what they felt was a white supremacist or something like that. And that's happened at least 3 times within the last 2 weeks, where just some guy that looked wrong or wore the wrong glasses.
That's why I don't show up to these protests as much as I want to show up to these protests and do videos. That's why I don't show up, because I'm going to shoot some motherfuckers. If you come after me and try to attack me with a fucking baseball bat, I will fucking shoot you in your fucking tracks. You will die. That's why I don't show up. I don't want to show up for a fight that I don't want, because I know for a fact I'll shoot a motherfucker.
Do you think somebody would come after you just because you have a mohawk?
Look at me. I'll be carrying my rebel flag. I'll have my little mohawk. They will come after me, and I will have to shoot motherfuckers. Period.
Now, can you guys update me on I think it was South Carolina. The guy that shot, did he actually shoot somebody, or did he just shoot in the ground, or do you guys know any more info on that?
I didn't hear. Is this within the last week?
This was today or yesterday. I think it was Charlotte, South Carolina. I think it was in that town.
I heard something happened, and it was Greenville. I hadn't went back and looked up. I had somebody send me a email saying something about happened in the event that I was talking about in my last couple of videos. I hadn't seen anything about it, but
now I saw footage of a guy pulling a gun, kind of pointed towards the ground a little bit. He had fired it, and then he kind of had backed into the group of people again. They didn't show. It was like a blip. Like I think it was on some channel. I don't know what it was on.
Well, if it was in South Carolina, the latest event that's happening is in Greenville, South Carolina. It's a 200-year-old graveyard. A graveyard, okay? There are Confederate soldiers buried there, and there are Confederate memorials. It's a fucking graveyard. I don't care what your view of the Civil War is. It's a graveyard. People are buried there that died fighting for what they believed. Whether you believe, whether you understand what they were fighting for, it does not matter. It is a graveyard, and there's memorials there for the dead. People that died fighting for what they believed. I don't give a damn what your belief is, what your fucking opinion is, and I'm not mad at you, Rick, or anybody else on the panel, or anybody actually watching. But think about it. It's a graveyard. Of course there's memorials. Would you not expect there to be memorials at a graveyard? Whether it's north, south, or just a normal. Anytime I go to a graveyard, there's usually some kind of memorial there. Of whatever it is. Would you think anything about a Confederate memorial with Confederate soldiers buried in a graveyard? And that's what's going on there. There's Confederate soldiers buried in that graveyard, and there's Confederate memorials for them. What's the issue? And I give the floor back over to my panel.
I don't think there is an issue. I don't understand what their issue is. It's, I don't know. This topic between the South and the North, and might as well say the West and the East. I mean, it's a bunch of bullshit. Especially history. You can't, when it comes to history, you have to, whether you like it or you don't like it, it was history. It's part of what has happened. It's not, you can't erase history, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of anything that has anything to do with everything from past history, and then basically they're setting us up to repeat it again. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. And the ones that want to cry and bitch and moan and say, oh, it's white supremacy and blah blah blah, don't even know today there is actually modern day right now. I'm trying not to get angry. Right now, there's slavery in the Middle East. Okay? Why aren't you fucking bitching about that? Why aren't you fucking raising hell about that? There's slavery in the Middle East today. You ain't saying shit about that. You're whining and crying about something that happened almost 200 fucking years ago. Really? If you're really that concerned with humankind, you'll be bitching about the fucking slavery going on in the Middle East today. And you're not. That's why you're fake. You're full of shit. And your opinion don't fucking matter to me.
And we don't even have to go as far as slavery. Today, I wish I had the stats. I took a class on this a couple months ago. Just the amount of human trafficking within the United States of American children for sex exploitation. That's damn near, I mean, it's worse than slavery, but it's damn near the same thing. And you're more worried about something that happened that many years ago instead of standing up and going after a cause to save kids today. There are thousands. I thought there was going to be a wreck there. There's thousands of kids that are being traversed around this country for sex, and not many people care. But yet all these idiots are putting all their energy into something stupid, which is wasting money instead of going after actual problems. Think about that. I mean, just think about it.
Blue, you bring up a great point. You bring up a great point. I think a lot of people don't even freaking know about it. We're going to stay serious tonight. I know a lot of times we bullshit most of the night. We're going to stay serious tonight. And you are absolutely correct. And you probably have more knowledge of it than anybody on this panel, that there are sex trafficking organizations moving children through the United States for, I hate to even say the word, but anyway, child fucking sex with fucking children. And there are groups that move these children throughout the United States right now in the United States, and nobody gives a shit. So,
and it's now legal in California.
I'm sorry, what is legal in California?
For underage minor girls and boys to be prostitutes. That law got passed a couple years ago.
How is it legal?
They'll still arrest the John, but they will not prosecute or convict the underage minors for solicitation.
But is it the underage minors issue, or is it, let's just call them the pimps? Are they going after at least the people that are controlling these kids, or are these kids doing it on their own?
They made it easier for the pimps. This issue was out, I mean, at least a year ago. You need to hear nothing. The only place you ever heard about it would be like Rush Limbaugh.
I have never heard that anybody. I know that there is legal prostitution in some states. We don't have that here, but I've never ever heard of underage prostitution being legal. I mean, that's disturbing. If that's true, that is disturbing.
What's the word? A word or a phrase on words, or how do you say that?
Well, I mean,
because they are minors, they're not going to get, incarcerated basically for, they could plug up the whole system, unfortunately, because there's probably enough of them to do it. But as far as, yeah, you want to go after the John, right? And put his ass in jail, maybe just shoot his ass in the face, call it done. But for the kid that's doing it to maybe live on the street or whatever the case is to survive, they're probably not, incarcerating them or putting them through the system just for that fact. They're a minor.
I go into the juvenile facilities in the town down the road from us, where there's young girls in there because of prostitution, underage. And at least in there, they are in a safe environment. They're getting the counseling they needed, and they're off the street. And they're being shown a way to get out of that lifestyle. And California